All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Koyomimonogatari,
episode 8. All right, so we had Tsukihi last episode.
And it was wonderful comedy with her and Tsuruga. Yep.
The Fire Sisters saga is complete, I'm guessing.
Indeed.
So who would be next?
I am holding out that it might be Shinobu, but I have no idea because, her whole arcs have always been placed in interesting ways.
Right.
Yeah, especially with release order of Kizu and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Gotcha.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, so I guess we'll maybe just find out.
Yeah.
So, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. All right, everyone, we're going to be starting the episode in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now.
Wait. Which OP is this? Wait.
Wait.
Are we getting
Ogi?
Ogi? That...
Oh!
Okay.
All right.
A surprise, to be sure.
But a welcome one.
Like,
yeah.
Okay. Wait. Maybe in the timeline of things, if it's set out chronologically, she actually would be next? Because... What's a Koyomi episode with Ogi gonna be?
Yeah.
Because
all the inversions, it's cool.
Right.
It's kind of interesting seeing this with kind of the extra kind of insight we have on Ogi. So it's like at what point is this a thing of where it's going to be like is this going to be like a focus on an oddity thing that is it's that's being treated as an oddity by actually Araragi?
I don't know.
And then it's just
because the oddities in Koyomi so far have been very relaxed. Well,
they're not oddities. That's
right,
thing, right? Yeah.
So for Ogi, she usually shows up when it's very serious.
Okay. Or something like that.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh.
Right.
Getting the view. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. It would look, yeah, like some element of immortality and that it was being reborn, yeah. Hmm. The typhoon. Which is something that Araragi
Okay.
eventually does when he then places the thing on
The first kin.
yeah.
Really? Okay.
It was a struggle, it was a long period of time, or it was something supernatural.
Right. You just do it step by step.
Not an oddity thing. Okay, cool. Huh. Hmm.
Really?
Right.
Ah, nice.
Oh. Right, took all the insides, stuff that's
Uh-huh.
easy to move. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or someone else would use it.
Nice.
Huh.
Okay.
That was interesting.
So that was an interesting way of being kind of shown a couple things that, were prep for something that we have already seen, basically.
Right.
The actual utilization of the talisman for
Yeah.
defeating the first kin. It's interesting, though. So the idea that there's another shrine basically out there that's just unkempt and, just basically served the original function of this shrine as well, but then they just ended up basically transferring the actual use of it to a different place.
Right.
Did you get any specific things as to why they felt they need to actually move it, though?
Not sure.
I feel like there was a couple things this episode that I didn't really fully understand at all.
Yeah, I feel like, it's fitting that Ogi's would be one that gets into more of the the world building or the more serious, beyond this episode relevant stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't make sense of it.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
This one was interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like what this one kind of gave us was a little bit of a look at the pretext for the Nautico Medusa arc, basically for Otori, and showing how Nautico found out about the talisman not only being, there via the snake being, there with Araragi in the room there, and also how Araragi and why he grabbed essentially the talisman from the shrine.
When in the battle with First Kin? Or...
Well, yeah, basically in preparation for that, yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
I mean, what did you take from this?
Well, okay. Being an Ogi episode, the fact that it was a bit on the weird side kind of made sense to me, right? Because that's her style, right? But yeah, it did feel a lot more specifically related to things in the Nautico Medusa arc than any I didn't have much of a grasp on what the big picture stuff could have meant beyond the that. Because there's the whole idea of there's a god that there needs to be here in order to maintain balance and everything, and that's been sort of hinted at or told to be one of the big sort of end game conflicts of this story.
Right.
But Ogi is constantly talking in riddles, I feel like, so I feel like this is an episode that'll make a ton of sense in rewatch, right? After the whole series has been seen. But...
Okay, so let's remove Ogi from the picture here. I'm not trying to bring the focus to Ogi specifically. I'm talking about how this relates specifically to the ideas of the plot points and devices that we have already seen and we understand thus far. One of them being that the actual talisman ends up getting taken and used to defeat the first kin. But also, it's something that the snake god needed to know about where it was.
Right.
Which is why at the end of the episode they show it in the girly magazine in Araragi's dresser there.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Sorry. So it wasn't long until the day I would use the talisman given to me by Guy and Izuko. Okay, so then is this something where, because it's Frost Month, which I believe to be November, is this something that is directly after the Nautico Medusa stuff?
I think it's in between because it's
during.
Right, because it's a while.
But then she disappears during that arc, though.
Right, so I think it's before that happens because.
So it's like before it happens.
Right,
then.
because Nautico, probably right before, and that's
because she has the scrunchie on her wrist.
Right, she's got the scrunchie, and that's how she finds that the talisman is there, and then and there were additional seedings of Nautico's frustration with Araragi in this episode.
Well, there was also her just constantly slipping up and saying things regarding the snake god and stuff that was okay.
Yeah.
The idea, though, in the beginning of the episode that Ogi is aware about some extra things that we, the audience, and also by extension Araragi being the focal point character, is not necessarily aware as well. And that was another kind of hint thing regarding Ogi's, Ogi's connection to Araragi. Being like, haven't I already explained it to you? And he's like, oh, well, had she? Yeah. Maybe, but I just carelessly forgetting it. There's their whole thing going on there. But then Ogi goes into this world building regarding how mountains are in some ways her specialty, that they're in some ways similar to oddities, being that they are kind of places for gods to reside.
Yep.
But then this one has specifically a shrine here that shouldn't be here necessarily. And she makes the connection about how forcing together unrelated things produces conflict, though, right? Giving the look at the camera with the ominous voice acting sound effects connected to it. And then Argy's like, whoa, conflict? And she's like, please ignore that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's like, regrettably, there were mistakes in the initial stages, so now it's a matter which needs endlessly redoing.
Yeah, all of this stuff... What I got the impression of from this was that Ogi was actually speaking from experience, not just knowledge, right?
Yeah, on some level, maybe.
Which then gives me a very interesting... it changes up my perspective on what Ogi might be. Because if Ogi's been around for a very long time...
That's not... I don't think that's what's being communicated.
Okay.
Here. Yeah, I really don't think that's what's being communicated here. Because remember, there's already time muckery in this story. Araragi went back like a really long time ago.
Right.
To doing things, and I believe it would have been this... Would it have been this shrine? No,
it would have been this shrine, but on a different timeline.
Or something. Because it's what is it called? The Shirahebi shrine?
Right. Which I think is this one, because I'm pretty sure that in Monogatari it's always just been the one shrine. Like, it's been in various states over the course of the series, but it's the same one.
Right, but this brings up the idea that there was 2 shrines.
Right, but then the other one was like a long... It was abandoned a long time ago and in a very faraway place.
Yeah. So there's not just one shrine, though. That's the thing. Because they didn't actually move and tear down the original shrine, they ended up, by Sengoku's analysis, which I kind of liked how it does make a lot of sense here, that you wouldn't need to move everything regarding the shrine. You just move the ins and outs, the little detail things that make
the most important things for the shrine.
Right, because you could just build new wood out of the trees and stuff.
This actually feels kind of similar to the what was it, the first or the second Koyomi episode, in where there was the shrine that wasn't a shrine, and it was Araragi's old like thing that he made. And now here we have a shrine that was built, but then it isn't really a shrine because of from the literal sense, because it wasn't that old shrine. It was actually, but because of the importance placed on the things that were maybe moved with it and things like that, it became a shrine. Like that shrine essence or whatever, the identity that the other shrine had was just transferred over to here.
Gotcha. The other thing is that because of the talisman put here by Oshino, she mentions the tentative balance being maintained, that the ground's atmosphere is, kind of refreshing. And, Yeah, and then Araragi thinks about, naturally as on the last day of summer vacation, Shinobu and I completely refreshed this place.
Right.
Referring back to that whole escapade.
Yeah.
But then Ogi's still like kind of talking about things in ways that seem to be primarily for her. The whole thing of, although me coming here today could be another matter. Just the idea of like,
right, like
it's one of those things.
It's all here.
Well, yeah, but
I'm just not seeing it.
Yeah, but I feel like one of the things that's also just kind of fun here is that this is the thing of where Araragi is in his head thinking, and then let me listen to this here real quick. But I'm pretty sure this is basically just the equivalent of literally Ogi finishing his thought. Yep.
Yeah. Right.
She's like their connection is insane. Whatever it is, like in terms of the actual details and stuff, she's literally finishing his thoughts there. Like that's I mean, it could be related to the whole other thing before this, and that works as well, where it's to be able to call this a gathering place where bad things became difficult at some point at least. So it could also be basically the equivalent of calling her a bad thing. But although me coming here today could be another matter, but it works for both. It works literally for both in some ways. So, and she takes in the view. And this part feels weird because it's a form of exposition of her being like, the snake god is a representative, but are you aware of how snakes became deified here, though they are not on the level of gods? Meaning like the myth of snakes being, beings of import, which is like, should we know? And that means, okay, yeah, then that's, you go and look back at history and snakes being looked at as these potentially spiritual beings because of their whole process of molting their skin and shedding
it's like,
everything.
All right, cool, I buy that,
Yeah. So then how does that correlate back into the specific things here? She's saying it's cleaning up after the uncle. We're going to take care of the situation where it become a gathering place. And then this is the part where Ogi stops talking in riddles and saying, my uncle, after the invasion of the typhoon,
right,
Kishade Sorol Orion Heart Under Blade, was successful in cleaning up. But I wonder, and I think my uncle was being naive here.
Right.
And but surely if another Audion Heart Underblades level visited, referring kind of in some ways to the first kin, there'd be no countermeasure for that, right?
Which is weird because if this is like in parallel with Nadeko Medusa, and Ogi definitely played a part in Nadeko turning into a god and everything, then that makes it seem like Ogi's like, the balance could totally be thrown off if another super powerful entity were to come here. Yeah, I'm gonna make there be a god here. Yeah, that seems like a good idea.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. The next time, as if it's guaranteed as well, performing a countermeasure. And then without a gathering place, there would be no place for the bad things to gather. Yeah. And then the whole thing of, well, you said it was a mistake, but it's not something a high school girl like you can do something about now, right? Well...
Araragi, you tripped a flag right there.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I'm just really curious to see where the motivation leads with regards to Ogi setting this whole thing up. Because they're very much connected in a lot of ways. But the fact that the actual relocation element being something that Ogi either misinterpreted or had wrong, even though almost at all times Ogi speaks, she seems to be speaking from a place of certainty. It feels interesting to have a moment in the story where we very clearly get another character going, well, here's the obvious explanation as to the way it could have gone that is not completely contrary, but it is a slightly different interpretation than the way Ogi perceived it, except that Ogi does make the point of saying, no, it definitely wasn't done in any kind of supernatural way.
Which, classic Ogi, it's more like she's trying to guide Araragi to the conclusion than actually just giving it to him, even though she deep down knows somehow.
Yeah, but that's the thing, is that she is being, I would say, a little bit intentionally misleading in some ways. Not necessarily intentionally, but she's being a little bit misleading with the way it's being delivered to Araragi.
Sure, but I feel like Ogi is I don't know. I feel like that's not too far out of Ogi's ballpark, you know?
Okay. Yeah. And then just the rhetorical question of, really, what exactly is a polar snake?
And then we jump to the snake.
Yeah. Here's the snake. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I am
also just the idea that, the reason why Sengoku knows this is because she's connected to the snake god. So of course she knows the actual answer.
Yep.
But it is interesting in that Araragi came here coincidentally, maybe not coincidentally. Do you find it interesting that Araragi would actually potentially know who to talk to about this? Or is that not what's being implied here?
Well, okay. Given that, actually, no. I think there might be a reason for it.
Mm-hmm.
Nadeko did a bunch of research on snakes when she had her snake fiasco earlier.
Yes.
So there is a decent possibility that she would have information specifically regarding snakes that other people wouldn't.
Right. Except he doesn't ask about that. He asks about how the shrine movement then happened, which is a history-related thing, not a snake-related thing.
Maybe it's just more of a coincidence thing of, based on the time that this takes place, this is just one of the times that she was at his house. Yeah. And he just brought it up.
Yeah. All right. The framing of her as a divine being of sorts. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I really liked the idea of there being something that would continue and not be born from it. I think that Araragi kind of shows his intelligence in this regard when he realizes that it wouldn't be something new with regards to the faith from this new place and stuff.
Oh, just continue.
It would just continue. There's something there.
I feel like it's episodes like this where Ogi just sort of appears, and you know that because Ogi's there, it's something important, but I don't necessarily know why. That this show is showing me that just how much I don't know,
Or it's trying to help guide us to the answer along with Araragi, but we have to actually figure it out, ourselves.
Yeah.
But this one is one that I think that we did have a good enough amount of context with regards to the things that happened really recently, with regards to the importance of the talisman being, put into very specific places at specific times. But the fact that this was potentially happening concurrently with either the very beginning of the Nadeko Medusa stuff, like right before she disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
Is this just something where, because of Araragi ending up putting the snake god into a situation where it would end up finding out, where the talisman was, that then it's like, okay, now it's time, Nadeko, let's make this happen.
I guess maybe. Yeah.
But
I don't know.
It's another episode of where we're kind of filling in some blanks potentially, which is kind of cool as we're going to catch up back to the present here.
Right. Yeah.
But all right, y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there, and any level support gets you access to our Discord, where you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and you can also talk with Jacob about the sci-fi novel that he wrote.
Yep. Battle Lines. You've definitely not heard of it before. If you haven't gotten it yet, what are you doing? Go check it out. It's on Amazon. The link is in the description.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.